Clifford Beers, A Mind That Found Itself. Who was Clifford Whittingham Beers? Clifford Whittingham Beers, 1876 to 1943, was the founder of the American mental hygiene movement, a movement whose aim was to improve the treatment given to the mentally ill, in particular to make it more humane. Encyclopaedia Britannica. Mental hygiene, the science of maintaining mental health and preventing the development of psychosis, neurosis, or other mental disorders. Beers was born in New Haven, Connecticut. One of 5 children, all of whom would suffer from psychological distress and would die in mental institutions, including Beers himself. He suffered from bouts of depression and paranoia, had visions and auditory hallucinations, olfactory hallucinations, and bouts of mania. In 1900, he was first confined to a private mental institution. He would later be confined to another private hospital, as well as a state institution. During these periods, he experienced and witnessed serious maltreatment at the hands of the staff. After the publication of A Mind That Found Itself, 1908, an autobiographical account of his hospitalization and the abuses he suffered during this process, he gained the support of the medical profession in a bid to reform the treatment of the mentally ill. Dreams and being born again. Rebirth. Though I slept fairly well most of the time, mine was seldom a dreamless sleep. Many of my dreams were, if anything, harder to bear than my delusions of the day. For what little reason I had was absolutely suspended in sleep. Almost every night my brain was at battledore and shuttlecock with weird thoughts. And if not all my dreams were terrifying, this fact seemed to be only because a perverted and perverse reason, in order that its possessor might not lose the capacity for suffering, knew how to keep hope alive, with visions which supplied the contrast necessary for keen appreciation. No man can be literally born again, but I believe I came as near it as ever a man did. To leave behind what was in reality a hell, and immediately have this good green earth revealed in more glory than most men ever see it, was one of the compensating privileges which make me feel that my suffering was worthwhile. First, a peculiar sensation assailed me when, in June 1900, I lost my reason. At that time my brain felt as though pricked by 1,000,000 needles at white heat. On this August the 30th, 1902, shortly after largely regaining my reason, I had another, most distinct sensation in the brain. It started under my brow and gradually spread until the entire surface was affected. The throes of a dying reason had been torture. The sensations felt as my dead reason was reborn were delightful. It seemed as though the refreshing breath of some kind goddess of wisdom were being gently blown against the surface of my brain. It was a sensation not unlike that produced by a mental pencil, rubbed ever so gently over a fevered brow. So delicate, so crisp and exhilarating was it, that words fail me in my attempt to describe it. Few, if any, experiences can be more delightful. His final years. In 1909, Beers founded the National Committee for Mental Hygiene, now named Mental Health America, in order to continue the reform for the treatment of the mentally ill. He also started the Clifford Beers Clinic in New Haven in 1913, the first outpatient mental health clinic in the United States. He was a leader in the field until his retirement in 1939. He became honorary president of the World Federation for Mental Health. He died in Providence, Rhode Island on July the 9th, 1943. The Extra Mile in Washington, D.C. selected Beers as one of its 37 honorees. The Extra Mile pays homage to Americans like Beers who set their own self-interest aside to help others and successfully brought positive social change to the United States.